This will be for the con exercise, solve absolute value equations. So they ask us, what are the solutions of the following equation? All right, and we have this equation here, and we have multiple choices for the answers. So notice on this equation, we have the absolute value of x plus 10 written on both sides. So I am going to use a variable and sub in for the absolute value of x plus 10. All right, so basically, I am going to let's say the letter n equal the absolute value of x plus 10. Okay, you can use any variable you want. I just use n. So I'm going to let n equal absolute value of x plus 10. Wherever I see absolute value of x plus 10, I'm going to substitute n, the letter n. Okay, so here we have a 2. And absolute value of x plus 10 is going to be n. Okay, and that's plus 12 equals negative 3. And again, absolute value of x plus 10, I'm just going to sub in an n. And finally, plus 62. Okay, and now solving this equation is much more simple. Okay, I'm just going to solve for n. I have a negative 3n here. I want to move that over. So the opposite is plus 3n. Do that to both sides. 3n minus 3n is gone. 2n plus 3n is 5n. Okay, and now I want the constant term over here. So the opposite of plus 12 is minus 12. All right, 12 minus 12 is gone. Bring down the equal. 62 minus 12 is 50. Solving for n, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And the 5s cancel. 50 divided by 5 is just 10. Now, that is not the final answer. Okay, remember, we're solving for x. We just subbed in n in place of absolute value of x minus 10. So since n equals 10, this right here is going to equal 10. All right. So finally, we have to solve this. I'm going to erase this stuff. All right. Absolute value of x plus 10 equals 10. All right. Absolute value of x plus 10 equals 10. Remember, absolute value makes things positive. Okay. So if this were positive 10, if this mess were positive 10, 10 would equal 10, that works. But also, if this were negative 10, you would take the absolute value of negative 10, it would still equal 10. Okay, so this mess right here could equal 10 or negative 10. So just remove the absolute value. So we have x plus 10, and that's going to equal positive or negative 10. All right, so we actually have two separate equations here. We have x plus 10 equals positive 10, and we have x plus 10 equals negative 10. All right, so there's going to be two answers here. All right, so basically I took the expression in the absolute value, I made it plus or minus on the other side of the equal sign, and now we have two equations. All right, now it's easy, solving for x. Minus 10 on both sides. 10 minus 10 cancels. Bring down your x. 10 minus 10 is 0. Okay, so that's one answer. Over here, the opposite of positive 10 is negative 10. 10 minus 10 is gone. Bring down the x. Negative 10 minus 10 is negative 20. All right, so x equals 0 and x equals negative 20. We have two answers. All right, scrolling down, x equals 0 and negative 20. All right, I think these problems are all the same. We're just solving for this equation here, and it's multiple choices. Notice there might be a fractional answer or no solutions. All right, once again, notice that we have the absolute value of x plus 9 on both sides. All right, so I'm going to let n, you can use any letter you want, but I'm going to let n equal the absolute value of x plus 9. Okay, so wherever I see that, I'm going to plug in n. So we have negative 3, and absolute value of x plus 9 is just n. I have plus 2, and that equals 10. Absolute value of x plus 9 is just n, and then plus 5. Solving for n, I have a negative 3n here. I'm going to do positive 3n on both sides. Cancels here. And since I have the letters here, let me finish this. Bring down the equal sign. 10 plus 3 is 13n. Okay, since I have the variable here, I want to get the constant term to the other side. Opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. Cancels here. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. All right. Solving for n, I'm going to divide both sides by 13. 13 over 13 cancels. N equals negative 3 over 13. So we let n equal this, and that's going to equal negative 3 over 13. Now, can an absolute value ever equal a negative? No. That will never equal a negative. Okay? So there is no solution. That's it. This thing right here cannot be solved because an absolute value cannot equal a negative. Remember, absolute value, the smallest it can be is 0. Absolute value has to be, let's say absolute value of x or anything, it has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay? It'll never be less than 0. So no solution here. Answer E. All right, one more. We have the absolute value of x plus 8 on both sides. So I'm going to let n equal the absolute value of x plus 8. So wherever I see that, I'm going to plug in n. Okay, so we start with a 10. Absolute value of x plus 8 is n minus 13. And that equals negative 2. Absolute value of x plus 8 is just n. And then plus 11. Okay, solving for n. Opposite of negative 2 is positive 2n. I'm going to do that to both sides. Cancels right here. 10 plus 2 is 12. Here I have negative, since I have the variable here, I want the negative 13, the constant term, to move to the right. Opposite of negative 13 is positive 13. You do the same thing to both sides. Cancels here, bring down the equals. 11 plus 13 is 24. And solving for n, I'm going to divide both sides by 12. N equals 2. So this up here is going to equal 2. All right, absolute value of x plus 8 equals 2. Let me erase this mess. Okay, absolute value of x plus 8, doing a different color, absolute value of x plus 8 equals 2. Okay, so this could be 2, but it could also be negative 2, because you take the absolute value of negative 2, it would return positive 2. All right, so x plus 8, once I remove the absolute value, I can do plus or minus on the other side of the equal sign. So x plus 8 is positive or negative 2. And now we have two equations here. X plus 8 is positive 2. And also, x plus 8 is negative 2. All right, both of those would work. Solving for x, minus 8 on both. Cancels here. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. All right, and here minus 8 on both sides again. Cancels here. Bring down the x. Negative 2 minus 8 is negative 10. So we have two answers once again. Negative 6 and negative 10. So just scroll down, negative 6 and negative 10. I couldn't find a problem with a fraction, but just remember, if you add or subtract fractions, you need to establish a common denominator. All right, just as a quick example, let's say you have to do 5 minus 7/3. Okay, the denominator here is 3, so you need to make this into a fraction with 3 as a denominator. 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 is the same as 15 over 3. And then you can do minus 7/3. All right, 15 minus 7 is 8, and that's divided by 3.